Hello everyone, I'm Meghan Sullivan and welcome to my impressions video of Forspoken, developed by Luminous Productions and published by Square Enix for the PlayStation 5 and PC. This review is for the PlayStation 5 version of the demo, and if you like this content, please remember to like and subscribe to this channel and I'll keep bringing you videos like this in the future. Thank you. So, what is Forspoken and what do I think of it? Well, Forspoken follows the journey of Frey Holland, a young New Yorker transported to the magical land of Athea. There, she tries to search for a way home, but is told she must first help the local populace fight the Tantas, a powerful matriarchy of spellcasters corrupted by a blight known as the Break. While doing so, Frey must use her newfound magical abilities, accessible via her talking bracelet Cuff, to traverse sprawling landscapes, or simply fast travel to different locations, which is nearly instantaneous on the PlayStation 5, and battle all sorts of monstrous creatures. Now on paper, Forspoken is awesome. It's got a cool-looking, confident female lead, an interesting premise, and I can see glimmers of brilliance in the gameplay. Frey can not only toggle between two different sets of magic, each with her own bevy of offensive and supportive spells, but she can parkour up cliffs, flit over water, jump over opponents while blasting them with elemental spells, scan an enemy's weakness or location, and race over fields of flowers, gathering resources to help her craft some seriously stylish clothing and accessories that help boost her health and magic. I'm really impressed by the level of detail found in every stitch that Frey wears, and I love that even her nail art gives her an extra buff. How cool is that? If nothing else, the fashion in this game gets a big thumbs up from me. I wish I could be as enthusiastic about the rest of the visuals, but they're kinda rough. Especially in performance mode, which I played in most of the time so that I didn't have to deal with any potential frame rate issues. But even in quality and ray tracing modes, where things definitely looked better, rather nice actually, Forspoken lacks polish. That's so frustrating because we know the kind of heat Square Enix can bring when it comes to jaw-dropping, cutting-edge visuals. Forspoken should be stunning to look at, but the quality is undercut by the jaggy, unfinished textures that plague it. Frey herself looks okay, but upon closer inspection, her eyes are just so dead, and her mouth movements are super stiff and awkward. This character deserves better visuals, and Frey certainly deserves way better dialogue. The banter between Frey and Cuff is borderline insufferable, although good news, you can go into settings and limit it. I get that Frey is supposed to be a tough New Yorker, but she sounds like a dude bro who thinks being cocky and dropping the F-bomb every 3 seconds is going to win her respect, and it doesn't. And Cuff's lines are just as cringy. Maybe the team was going for tongue planted firmly in cheek humor? You know, like, it's so bad it's good, but the writing just isn't up to the challenge. And I feel like the VO director was asleep at the wheel because some of the delivery is awkward. I can't even comment on the story itself because the demo drops you smack dab in the middle of it, and the only way to know what's going on is through a very brief overview at the beginning of the demo and a lot of reading buried in the menu system. It's like cracking open a fantasy book halfway through the story, then constantly having to consult the glossary to fill in the backstory. A glossary, by the way, I'm talking about the UI and menu system here, that looks really weird. What is up with this fishbowl effect? And is really cumbersome to navigate. In fact, this is my biggest gripe about the game, the controls. They're mapped out in the most awkward, unintuitive way possible, and it really hurts the gameplay. It took way longer than it should have to master parkouring and spellcasting because I had to input these weird combinations of shoulder buttons and face buttons and one of the analog sticks, and just why? It boggles my mind and makes my hands cramp up. And what's even more baffling is that the game even demonstrates it does not need to be this obtuse. Instead of pressing L1 plus R1 and fighting the right analog stick to change spell sets, it turns out I could just quickly toggle between them by pressing left or right on the D-pad. That's it. You can change the settings to do that. Why isn't that the default setting to begin with? It's such a literal game changer. It makes the gameplay much more enjoyable, as does the option to semi-auto, leaping and soaring, automatically evade attacks, automatically swap between support skills not on cooldown, etc., etc. The options are there, but it feels like they're hidden away. Now, once I made some adjustments and got more practice with the combat system, I kind of enjoyed zipping around the surprisingly large world map, wrecking alligators with fire and knocking enemies out of the air. Combat can be fun, although it would be much more fun if I could zoom out the camera, which is so tight in Forspoken that even when Cuff warns me of an incoming attack, I can't see it because the camera is so close it's practically in first-person mode. You know, it can be pretty hard to get a good battle ranking when you're fighting enemies, the controls, and the camera at the same time. Sometimes I had to retreat a little just to figure out what was going on. Speaking of retreat, why does it feel like Freya has lead weights attached to her ankles when she runs? It makes the parkouring feel clunky and sluggish in places. Look, maybe it's my fault for assuming this game would have the speed and fluidity of, say, Nier Automata, and maybe that's not fair, but I felt like I was promised something fun and fast, and what I got is something clunky and awkward. Forspoken has massive potential, but it's chained to a heavy metal ball that it can't break free of, and that makes me sad. And hey guys, I tried. I really tried. Even after the demo ended, I explored more of the map and fought more enemies, hoping that things would click somehow. That maybe there was some hidden mechanic that I just didn't understand. But while the combat certainly got easier and the world a little less confusing, it felt like I was forcing myself to enjoy it more than I really was. I want to love Forspoken, and it wants to hurt me. And with so many other 2023 games trying to woo me, oh hey, what's up Final Fantasy, Fire Emblem, Hades, Legend of Zelda, Diablo, Starfield, Suikoden, Like a Dragon, I feel like this just isn't going to work. Forspoken needed to put its best foot forward, and it stumbled. I know, the developers tried to make something special, but time, budget, and other issues clearly hobbled their efforts. In the end, Forspoken was forsaken, and that's too bad. What did you think of the demo? Let me know in the comments below, and let me know what other games you'd like me to cover in the future. Thanks so much for watching, guys. See you later.
Well, that was no fun.
Yeah, flying is for assholes. Didn't even give him time to blink.
Exactly what purpose is that ridiculous exaggeration supposed to serve?
Damn, I'm hyper fucking Sonic. Like, pro level, right?
Oh, definitely. Very good.
You know what? I'll take it. Don't worry, this'll be quick.
That'll teach you.
Yeah, what he said.